Welcome to the Footy Show Daily. Me and Andy here, and it's the PFA Player of the Year announcements this weekend. This is the time when lots of people have opinions on who's been the best footballer. This is what the lads have said about it.
So I'm actually going to start here because
Don't do it,
I make this case because I believe it. I believe it so passionately that I think you're all going to disagree with me. So I'm going to have to get in first to try and go 1-0 up.
There's only one reason you're saying what you're about to. It's what you're wearing.
The player of the season is Jordan Henderson.
No.
The player of the season is Jordan Henderson.
The second best player in world football is Kevin De Bruyne.
The player of the season is Jordan Henderson.
I know why you're saying that, because obviously of what Liverpool have gone on to achieve.
What?
Jordan Henderson. Jordan Henderson has been very good for Liverpool this year. Obviously, Premier League winning captain.
Yeah.
But Player of the Year,
Absolutely
not for me. Not for me. Yeah, go on then. If it isn't Jordan for Andy, who is it?
I think we're going to probably be in agreement here. It's Kevin De Bruyne. There's been no more important player. I know Manchester City haven't won the title this season, but he's just been a one-man wrecking. He just destroys teams. You know, he's the best passer of the ball in the league. Creates more. You know, people say he doesn't create as much chance as someone else, but creates a lot. He creates, chance after chance after chance. He tears teams apart. Without a Man City at times would be a bit blunt. Times he's just so good. You know, he's probably one of the top 5 players in world football, as someone said on there. You know, Jordan Henderson's a good captain. Gives a good performance every week, but I wouldn't even put him in their top 2 players this season. I think Mane and Alexander-Arnold have been much better.
Well said.
Yeah, the first time I got that right in a while. Yeah, and I think people get quite romantic sometimes while picking it. I think when Ryan Giggs won, it was like a lifetime achievement award, and he was good that season. But I think just because you're the captain of the team that wins the title, I don't think Vincent Kompany was Player of the Year last year. I think there was better players. So I think rightfully Kevin De Bruyne, best player in the league this season.
Yeah, I agree. I think De Bruyne affects most games Manchester City play. I wouldn't say Henderson does in that way. Does in another way. He's been very good, don't get me wrong, and he's improved year on year, especially under Klopp at Liverpool, to become a very good midfield player. But De Bruyne is just a magician. His passing ability is incredible. Scores big goals as well. Creates so many chances for players. I mean, it must be a dream to if you're Aguero or Jesus. He's just a fantastic footballer and gets on with it. Gets on with the game. No fuss about him, really. And so he would be the one I would give. I think you're right. I think if you were looking at, obviously Liverpool are the Premier League champions and deserved champions, but if you were looking at Liverpool, I think Mane and Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Oh, and of course.
Probably. I mean, I think Mane is Liverpool's most important player to do, because he's the one who seems to come up with. Salah's brilliant, but Mane seems to come up with the goods at times. But Alexander-Arnold's been fantastic for them. Great assist, 13 assists or something, isn't it, this season?
Yeah.
He's now adding free kick goals to his tally as well. Good athlete. But it's still, for me, the level below what De Bruyne is. De Bruyne is just almost untouchable, I think, in the Premier League at the moment. He's just a wonderful footballer.
Yeah, there's no debate for me. He's been, game in, game out, he's been the best player. I probably slightly disagree and say Virgil van Dijk, because of without him. Maybe remember what Liverpool were like without him. But yeah, I think again it's romantic to say after because Liverpool have won the title after so long that Jordan Henderson's the pick. But no, he's not. It's got to be either the best player or the most influential player. And I don't think he ticks either box for me for Liverpool. I think most influential player for Man City is Kevin De Bruyne, and the best player is Kevin De Bruyne. So I think he ticks both boxes for that.
From not one extreme to the other, but who would you say, talking about the best player in the league this season, who would you say has been the biggest flop? And it's horrible word that, but who's underperformed? Let's leave it there.
For me, that reduced the level of expectation. It was someone I really liked last year at Eintracht Frankfurt. It'd be Sebastian Haller. I think he started the season okay, scored a couple of goals, really went away from him in the middle pass, as it did for West Ham. Again, someone who does recruitment, obviously, I don't think they put him in a position to succeed, but he's just not done enough for me to really warrant, the 45 million that they paid for him. He's a good striker. I think he'd be better playing with another person off him or with him, like they did with Jovic. But no, I'd expected more from the season. I did want, Everton to sign on, sort of half glad that they didn't now, because he probably wouldn't have, well, maybe he would have worked, but whatever. For me, in terms of what I have for expectations, he's flopped per se for me.
I liked Haller. Thought he was brilliant for Frankfurt, and I would have loved Everton to have bought him. And I think he probably would have prospered at Everton, because we do play two up front, and I think we'd tried to get round them. And with someone like Luca Dean putting deliveries in, I think he'd have been very good in the air. But the person I'm going to go for, who's been a massive disappointment, is Joe Linton at Newcastle. Again, coming from Hoffenheim, was decent in Germany, looked like a good footballer, but he's come in to Newcastle. And whether they've played him rightly or wrongly, he's not a number 9.
No, he never was, though.
No, but they've thought he is. And when you look at him in that role, he just looks like he looks like he doesn't know how to play football in the Premier League. I watched them very closely at Goodison when we drew 2-2, and he got taken off. He was dreadful. His touch was poor. He's a big lad. Didn't seem to have any strength about him. No turn of pace to talk of. Just looked like a fish out of water, and you're looking at, from an Everton perspective, like Moise Keane, who a lot of people will say has been the biggest flop, and rightly so. They'd have some argument with that. But Moise Keane looks miles better than Joe Linton. And so I know it's difficult, and this league is a tough league to play, and there's no question about that. But yeah, and I guess if you talk about that, and Wesley would be another one you could throw into that equation as well.
Yeah, he's not done really. He's spent 22 million on him, expect him to score goals. He scored against Everton. Yeah. But apart from that, he's got a couple more goals. I know the reason that Wesley didn't make it for me is I didn't think he'd be that great in this league, and that's why I didn't want on team and other teams. I didn't think he should sign him, but I know he's not been worth the money. No, and Nicolas Pepe, I think he's had a good end to the season. He's got a couple of assists. 72 million to expect more. They've changed managers similar to Everton. So for some of these players, it's like you say, we don't really want to call them floppers. In some cases, I think Joe Linton, he's 9.5. He's not a 9. He's someone who plays as a 10, stroke 9. You've got to play him right. He's like, he's not a Swiss Army knife. You can't put him everywhere. You have to play him like Nagelsmann did to get the best out of him. And Newcastle bought him as a target man. It was never going to work out. I think I said that at the start of the season. But for the price, no, Newcastle fans would have expected a better level at the very least. Yeah, definitely. And I don't think he's provided that. Haller, again, did all right to start the season. So I think strikers, they come in with these expectations. And as we know, it's fair. You look at a player like Danny Ings, who probably had really high expectations at the start of the season, but look how great he's done. So it's hard to come into this league and perform, and I think maybe we might see the best of the others next season, but this season certainly they haven't been good. It's
been poor, hasn't it? Yeah, so there you go. I mean, if you want to check the rest of that video out, check it out. Leave your comments. Go in, and if you think Jordan Henderson's been the best player this season, put it in the comments. And if you don't think, if there's somebody else, if you don't agree with me and Andy, you think it's someone other than Kevin De Bruyne, put them in the comments. The link is in the description. Get over there, and some very interesting viewpoints on a couple of other players as well. So go and check that out. There was a couple of games last night in the Premier League, both had an impact for Champions League places. Manchester United were kicking off. They were the early kick-off. They had West Ham at home. West Ham, it was safe now. And many thought the way United had been playing, that this would be, me included, I thought United would win, especially after losing the semi-final, the FA Cup at the weekend. I thought United had come back strongly in this, and they didn't. They drew 1-1. West Ham went ahead with a penalty. Was that a penalty for you?
Borderline.
I mean, Declan Rice smashed it at Pogba's face, but again, if you put your arms up,
there's leverage.
It's instinct, isn't it?
It's protection, isn't it? I guess. Saying that, the problem is, I know the rule doesn't apply. He meant to protect his face. He meant to put his hands there. So, but I suppose people should have said he should have taken full force in the face. I think it would knock them clean out. So probably better doing that.
Antonio slotted the penalty. He's hit the ground running massively since lockdown, hasn't he?
I think it's not single-handedly, but him and Declan Rice have been there, and Souček have been their best 3 players since lockdown.
I think that was his 6th goal since lockdown.
They've really turned it around in terms of keeping them up, really, because they were looking in a poor position at the start of the restart.
Certainly, West Ham 12 shots, Man United 11. United had 57% of the possession. Mason Greenwood, who's been incredible. I mean, he's definitely, for young player of the year,
got to be up there, yeah.
I mean,
even though it goes up to 29.
Well, it does, yeah. But as the bean, would you argue?
I think Trent will probably get it.
Alexander-Arnold win that, but then Greenwood should certainly
as a real young player, I think he's never first year in the Premier League. He's been superb.
Been incredible, hasn't he? It's that 18th goal of the season or something. It was another tidy finish with his left foot. So United dropped 2 important points because that would have given them, would have took them into third, wouldn't it? Because Chelsea weren't playing till 8:15. They went to Anfield and were duly beaten 5-3.
Crazy game, yeah.
In a goal glut at Anfield. I mean, that rate. How do you see that? Because obviously Chelsea would have won at Anfield last night. They would have been guaranteed Champions League football. They'd put themselves, out of reach of Leicester. Leicester have now slipped outside the Champions League places with that United draw. So, I know Brendan Rodgers, they've hit a bit of a brick wall. But going into Sunday's games, Chelsea have got Wolves at home and Manchester United go to Leicester.
All on the line, isn't
so
it?
It's, a point obviously for United at Leicester guarantees then Champions League football. But for Leicester, I mean, Brendan Rodgers, if he'd offered them that at the start of the season, going to the final game, a home game as well, to get in Champions League, you'd bit the hand off, wouldn't he?
No, yeah, I think, Leicester, don't get me wrong, have not been great since the restart, but at the start of the season, I think they probably were looking similar to Everton, 6th, 7th, 8th, and, they're pushing for the Champions League. It's obviously they've come off the boil slightly, but it's a great position to be in. It's a one-off game. You can go all out for it, you know what I mean? If you win the game that they're in, so...
I mean, both, United and Chelsea only need a point.
Yeah, sorry.
To do it. But
that's the win, yeah.
I mean, for Chelsea, they obviously conceding 5 last night. Liverpool did score. Naby Keita scored. In fact, Keita's goal was brilliant. Trent Alexander-Arnold's free kick was really good. Firmino's header was good.
It was the cross, really, wasn't it?
The cross was brilliant.
Header,
and then you look at that, the 5th goal in particular, the breakaway. 4-3 and Chelsea have a free kick. Edge of the box, and a bit more height, and it's 4-4 because they've outnumbered Liverpool, and Liverpool break like lightning and score. But for Lampard coming to the final game of his season, obviously they've still got the FA Cup final. They're still in the Champions League, but they're not. I don't see them turning the 3-0 deficit now to Bayern. So we finishes the season with a Champions League place and the possibility of winning a trophy by beating Arsenal in the final. Then he's had an incredible season, really, hasn't he?
Yeah, considering the position they were in at the start of the season, it was sort of a free year, weren't it, in terms of they had all those young players they were bringing back and they were trying to mix them into the fold. And you can see basically they've had this development year, but they've also maintained that a higher level in terms of pushing the Champions League. And then this summer, as we know, they're adding all sorts of players, aren't they? They'll be in a strong position next year, and they'll be expected to go up another level and challenge next year. And obviously Frank's got to go up another level himself. So, but it's India. These had a really good season. Yeah, I think both him and Solskjaer have really actually.
I mean, if they get Kai Havertz and Jan Oblak, who are two of their targets, then
look out.
They've got to definitely want to put themselves in that conversation for the title, aren't they?
Need to sort those set piece defence out, but other than that, they keep conceding, don't they? But
Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech coming in as well.
Players,
They've got, you look now and you're starting to see, I mean, even 12 months ago, we were all going, they could finish 10th from where they are. They looked like they were wobbling.
Finish out. I thought they finished 6th or 7th this season. I didn't expect it, but
they've done well. They've done well. Moving from the Premier League into a crazy night.
Fun night,
for teams trying to get into the Premier League. Obviously, we knew Leeds United were promoted.
Absolutely destroyed Charlton, didn't they?
They went and destroyed Charlton, then went on an open top bus. Which is let's leave that.
Silly, yeah.
They're silly is not the is the understatement of the year probably. But going into it, obviously we were looking at the table beforehand. West Brom. There was West Brom, Brentford, and Fulham, who could all come up, depending on results. What's berserk is that none of them won.
No, all different times they were in there. But Fulham weren't really. It was Brentford were up at one stage.
West Brom,
and then it was in the balance and Brentford could score and then Brentford conceded. It was really exciting night in the Championship last night. That was one. Then there was the Nottingham Forest, Swansea goal swing, which was insane. And then obviously down the other end of the table there was all sorts of machinations, wasn't there?
I mean, we finished. You look at the results there. Birmingham won, Derby 3, so Derby County finished with a win. Good result there. Brentford won, Barnsley 2. which was a shock, really. You'd have to say that.
Yeah.
Bristol 1, Preston 1, Cardiff 3, Hull 0, Cardiff securing their playoff spot.
What a fall for Hull.
Oh, Hull.
Sell your 2 best players, don't replace them, you're going to be in trouble, aren't you? That's on the owners, not the manager.
Leeds 4, Charlton 0, Luton 3, Blackburn 2. Again, Ped was very interesting. He was really, really complimentary of the quality of the
Great
the
goals by Blackburn, yeah.
That you know, Carter own goal, Johnson own goal, and a penalty from Collins.
Great pen.
Armstrong and Gallagher with the goals for Blackburn, but a 3-2 win for Luton. Millwall won 4-1. Forest beaten 4-1 at home by Stoke.
Crazy game.
And ended up falling out the playoffs.
Yeah, Swansea smashed Reading 4-1, didn't they?
Swansea won 4-1 at Reading. Sheffield lost at home to Middlesbrough. West Brom drew 2-2 with QPR. Wigan 1-1 with Fulham. And we got to the situation, so that was Leeds and West Bromwich Albion promoted. I was happy for Lynn, who's one of our subscribers, who's a West Brom fan, but Slaven Bilic looked absolutely delighted at the end.
He's a quite likeable character.
Yes, he is.
Ex-Evertonian as well.
Brentford, I was gutted for, because
I like Brentford. You know, obviously being involved in the data side of the business. I think it's tough now. The playoffs, Cardiff are probably, and Swansea, the 2 informed teams.
The momentum is always the thing.
So
isn't it?
Brentford, I think Brentford with the expectation, the last 2 games they just looked out of sorts. West Brom fell into the playoffs because they even looked out of sorts. It's hard at the pressure end of the season. I think what makes the Championship great is the quality, don't be wrong, isn't nowhere near the Premier League level of quality, but the competitiveness, because so many teams is so close.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
It's
and
great to watch.
Last day of the season, all that happened. It's fantastic, isn't it?
I mean, Brentford finished 3rd with a goal difference of plus 42. Fulham were 4th with goal difference of plus 16. West Brom lost the least games in the Championship. Bilic has had 17
They were away. They were far ahead, and then they
indeed.
Got pulled back by Leeds. And then
So,
Brentford.
I mean, it's going to be interesting. Like we say, the Forest ended up losing out by 1 goal.
Rest of them,
You know, Ped made a really good point before with why at 2-1 didn't he just shut up shop and ensure that they were in the playoffs?
You saw with the 4th goal, the striker was the one who knocked it in because he was like the only one chasing back the goal. He was up the bit, just crazy.
Absolutely.
It's just that's when you get too much involved in a situation without thinking clearly. And, you know,
Absolutely.
She made a mistake there.
But in a situation out at the bottom where obviously Hull went with 45 points from 46 games. Wigan might have been the 12 points taken off them, so they now finish 2nd bottom, having been 13th. They would have finished 13th without the deduction. And Charlton Athletic have finished obviously 3rd bottom and gone.
Do you know what I'd say about those 3 bottom clubs? They've all got something in common. The ownership situations of all 3. The LMs are Hull have been sold the 2 best players, never really replaced them with anything special. Wigan is an awful situation. Look how great they played as well. The last, they've been the informed team in the Championship, and then you look at Charlton. Duchalet had it for years, run it into the ground. Then Nima came, and then he had the falling out with the chief executives. It's sad for them clubs, and they're good clubs, and they just not been run right. Really, it's
Wigan finished 2nd bottom with a goal difference of +1.
Yeah,
everyone else minus 30, minus
Barnsley
28, 21.
Go along. I like Barnsley, another club who uses data a lot. And Gerhard Strub as a manager, I really like. He was really good in the interview after the game, was crying. But and Luton obviously did well to stay up considering where they were as well. It's you don't like to see teams go down like that, but I suppose that's the nature of football. The EFL, I'll use this as a platform to say they really, really, really need to look at who they're selling these clubs to, because it's not good. We want these clubs to survive, the community clubs.
Absolutely disgusting.
It's disgusting.
What's happened, and it's disgusting that the EFL have been compliant in it.
Every time, yeah.
That's what's disgusting about
Berry
it.
thing. Nothing's been learned from the Berry situation still.
No, it's sad, isn't it? Berry, you got accepted into the North West Counties yesterday as well, which
Phoenix Club, good stuff.
It's good luck to them, but it's shocking what's happened to them. I've seen someone on social media saying Wigan deserved to lose the 12 points because they broke the rules.
Well, the club didn't. It was the owners.
Yeah,
that broke
did
the
the
rules.
players, did the club. But that's the way. That's football. Luton have done really well. Sacked Graham Jones and got themselves out of trouble.
Well, Nathan Jones is obviously was there before. Really good manager.
Fits that club though.
Fits that
he?
club. Knows it. Most of the players who were there apart from the goalkeeper who's a bit mad, were there, before, and I think he's the right man to take them forward. I think when he went to Stoke, a bit unlucky, bit of a poisonous culture at Stoke, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a mad club. O'Neill's done well to keep them up. There's a lot of clubs who've done well towards the end of the season to stay up. Huddersfield obviously got out of it. Middlesbrough under the Colin Neil Warner, specialist. And
he knows how to get
it's his league, isn't it? He's the puppet master of that league.
Pleased for Callum McMahon as well, who did an interview with us during lockdown at Luton, and happy for him because they said they knew they had the work cut out to stay up, and
if you look at where they were when Nathan took over, I think they were bottom adrift. You've got to credit managers when they do things like that.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Elsewhere, last night in Italy, Napoli lost at Parma, Inter Milan drew 0-0. This obviously Juve won the night before with Ronaldo. Roma won 6-1 at Spal.
Yeah, they've changed the system. Fonseca's turned it around really well for them. Yeah,
they've done well. Zaniola scoring. Moise Keane's mate got the 6th goal. So Juve, Atalanta in second place.
Model club.
Juve 80, Atalanta 74, Inter Milan 73. Lazio now in fourth.
It's sad, isn't it?
That's the example of
Everton.
Momentum. Very Everton-like. Be flying. There's a pandemic and then lose everything. And
very similar situation in terms of the clubs in the city and stuff. Yeah.
End up finishing outside of it. Lots happening there. Around the world of football, obviously, it's going to get interesting now. The Premier League got one game to go the weekend, then the transfer window opens as well.
League, UEFA Cup,
They've got the Champions League and UEFA Cup back in about 2 weeks' time. I think it all starts. There's basically a game every day. What's really going to be interesting is that there is only that 2 weeks, and then everyone's back in pre-season. So it's going to be very, very strange. And I think you're right. I think it's going to be really interesting the first 6 weeks of the new season because some players will be mentally fatigued. You're only getting 2 weeks off and then you're back at the pre-season training. So it's going to, with no fans as well at the start, it's going to make it, it is going to make it very, very difficult and very interesting to see. Just two stories that caught my eye just before we go today. Birmingham have retired Jude Bellingham's number 22 shirt for a 17-year-old brilliantly talented 17-year-old that's played 41 times for the club.
All I'd say is I'd be very interested to see if that stays the case after the current owner leaves. That's a bit odd, mate. Don't get me wrong, Jude Bellingham's obviously, came through the academy. Christian Speakman, who's the head of the academy there, has done really well to develop him. He had a really great relationship with him, and then he's left now. He's obviously given the club a lot of money, but I don't know, he shouldn't be stowing on us like that after sell. He's not a club legend,
Berserk, isn't it? Unai Emery is the new boss of Villarreal.
I like Unai Emery. I think he's done well. Obviously, it's Sevilla, and as I said, I do hold it against him that Monaco turned him over as PSG manager. But Villarreal,
Spain's his league, isn't it? He knows the league well.
He's done well in Spain. He always has done. I think he was good at Valencia. I think. Yeah, Villarreal, the club who have been good in the past. They've had to sell the best players in recent years. Hopefully, he can get them back up towards the top of the league. Yeah.
And then this breaking story again is Charlton and Wigan could yet be reprieved by the start of the new season and stay in the Championship because Sheffield Wednesday and Derby are probably going to be deducted points, which would relegate both of them to League One.
Sheffield, I've heard Sheffield there's an issue whether Sheffield Wednesday is going to be applied this year or not. It might be suspended a certain amount and the rest be applied next year. And Derby, they both did a similar thing where the companies that own the stadium sold them. Yeah, they breached it. Yeah, it's all a bit machinations, but yeah, they need to sort out the EFL and the whole of the EFL aspect of financial, the owners, how they work things, because the Championship is a rough league anyway, because a lot of people live beyond the means in the Championship, and then below that, it's not good. I think I think Rick Parry's now the chief executive of the EFL. We need to get a handle on all this.
It is mad, and the Chinese state media has denied that Premier League games are being removed from television because of worsening relationships between the government and the UK. This comes obviously on the back of Huawei being banned from having 5G stuff. So that broke yesterday, that story, didn't it? Said that they'd said there would be no Premier League games, which would impact clubs like Southampton and Wolves,
Massively,
who've
yeah.
got big Chinese investments and things going on there. So very, very interesting. Big thanks to Andy there. Make sure you check out that video. The link is in the description if you want to hear other thoughts from the lads on who they think would the reasons why they've named their player of the year. The PFA player of the year is announced tomorrow. We've chosen who we think is ours. So make sure you give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you wanted to watch this live like our patrons did, get over and join us on Patreon. See you later.
Well worth it.